The perfect backswing starts with the golf club tracking right through the hands before traveling up to the top of the backswing. That's wrong. You've been lied to, and I'm going to explain exactly why in this video. And we're going to find out exactly how you should start your backswing based upon how you swing the golf club, so that you can hit crisp, consistent iron shots without having a head full of garbage golf tips. If you want to shoot 10 shots lower scores, check out the description for my free guide. Let's look at the backswings of some of the best players in the world. Tiger Woods, Sergio Garcia, Dustin Johnson, Matt Kuchar, Fred Couples, all of whom have completely different backswings. None of them swing it the same. With Tiger, you'll see the club pass directly through the hands in his takeaway. With Dustin Johnson, we're going to see the club work way outside. The best players in the world all have completely different backswings, so anyone telling you there's only one way to swing a golf club is talking complete nonsense. All that matters is impact, presenting the right conditions to the golf ball to make it go exactly how we want it to. How we get there is less important. But with that being said, we do need to swing the golf club somehow. So let's talk about how we do it. We're going to reverse engineer an appropriate backswing by looking at ball flight first rather than the movement first. So let's look at a player that slices the golf ball. If we're slicing the golf ball, then the club face at the point you strike the ball is going to be pointing to the right. And the club itself is going to be traveling to the left of that. So the golf ball is going to start with the club face aims, which is right, and it's going to travel away from the club path, away to the right. It's going to curve right. Now, if you're typically a slicer of the ball, you're either going to see that left-right curve and slice, or on the occasions where the club face comes in aiming to the left, and it's traveling along the same line as the club path, so the direction the club travels in, the ball's going to go straight left. So if we're a slicer of the golf ball, which is a shot that are curving to the right, or we pull the golf ball a lot, which is balls that go straight left without any curve, the impact we're seeing is that the golf club is traveling to the left-hand side. So to improve this, we want to get the golf club traveling more out to the right. Makes sense. And oftentimes the downswing that we'll see is where the golf club works out over this way and swings to the left-hand side. Now, how can we build a backswing that's going to help us work away from this slice and pull shot type? So we've got to manage two elements here. We've got to work on the direction the club travels in and the direction the club face is pointing when it strikes a golf ball. We have to make sure that we improve both of those elements. Otherwise, we might hit the ball with even worse curvature than we did before. So if we swing the golf club initially more on the inside, this is going to send the golf club deeper behind us in our backswing. And if it's deeper behind us in our backswing, it's harder to get it back out in front in the downswing. It's much harder to get it swinging to the left. And if it's harder to swing to the left, you're going to find the golf club is going to travel more out to the right. Now, this is great to stop that left club path, but we have to make sure that we also get the club face less aiming to the right, or else we're going to struggle with that big slice. But this time it's just going to start further right. So we know that in our takeaway, we want to see that golf club working more inside if we're a slicer of the ball. Now let's talk about club face. So when that golf club gets parallel with the ground, like so in our backswing, when the club shaft is parallel with the ground, we can judge the club face position at this point, how much to the right or to the left it's pointing. And a lot of the time, if we change how much to the right or left it's pointing at this point in the backswing, that's going to affect it by the time you strike the golf ball, which is going to influence the direction it goes. So we're now swinging it more on the inside, and if that toe of the golf club is pointing straight up in the air, that is an open club face at this point. It's aiming more to the right. If the toe of the club is pointing perpendicular at the same angle as my spine, then that's a pretty square club face. It's pretty much down the target line. And if the leading edge of the club is flat, so the toe is pointing straight out in front of us, then that is a closed club face, and that's going to make the ball go more left. So if we struggle with a slice golf shot, then we know that we want to make the path of the club more to the right, and we want to make the club face aim less to the right. So to do that, we can get the club swinging more to the inside in our takeaway, and we can get the club face pointed more straight down at the ground in that takeaway. Now, both of those elements are going to produce more of a draw shape come impact. So a backswing that works more around you with a more shut face is going to be much more preferable. Here's a drill we can use to work on our takeaway. So if we're a slicer of the golf ball, we want to be working on a takeaway that works more to the inside and has a more shut club face. So we can place an alignment stick at an angle similar to my club shaft that's set up, just behind and to the right. And I'm just going to make some takeaway swings here where I keep the golf club working underneath that stick. If the golf club works too much out here, which would promote more of our across the body slice shot, you're going to get some feedback because you're going to hit the stick. So we want to be able to get the club working underneath that stick and make sure that our club face is closed. How I'd practice this, I would have one practice swing, watching the golf club, checking to see if I can get that club face pointed downward and the takeaway inside that stick. And then I would have a practice swing all the way up to the top whilst looking at the ball, trying to do the same. We're looking to have that club work more around our body. So what if we hook the golf ball with loads of right to left curvature or hit it straight out to the right with big blocks? First of all, let's examine what's happening at impact. So at the point you strike the golf ball, the club is traveling out to the right hand side relative to our target, and the club face is pointing to the left of that. This makes the ball start left and carve further left. Or if you hit the shot that goes straight right, then the club is traveling to the right and the club face comes in the same direction and that ball goes straight right. Typically, we'll see the golf club in the downswing working underneath the plane and traveling out to the right hand side like so. If you're someone that struggles with this shape of shot, then a backswing where we get the golf club working in behind us is not going to be as appropriate. So we want to manage two elements here. We want to get the golf club traveling more to the left, and we want to get the club face aiming more to the right. So we can work on both those pieces during our takeaway. So having a takeaway where the club actually works more outward, outside of the line of our hands, is going to encourage the club to travel more up the left. And if we can get the club face more open, so in a position where the toe of the club works more upward, then that's going to open the club face more by the time we reach impact. So a great drill to improve this is placing that alignment stick same as before, but we're going to move it more behind us here. So that if we do move that golf club more to the inside, we're going to hit the stick. We're going to get that instant feedback. So now we're going to work that golf club more out in front of us, and we're going to get that club face pointed more to the right. We're going to do that by getting the toe of the club pointed more up in the air. So how to practice this, we can have one practice swing just working on takeaway, watching the golf club. Can we get the toe pointed up? Can we get the club working outward? We can then have a practice swing watching the ball, swinging all the way to the top. Can we recreate this feeling? We should see the club a little bit closer to our head at the top with less depth to our arms. Now from here, this is going to encourage us to swing more across the ball, more to the left and hold the club face more open, resulting in less of that hook shot we've been struggling with and more of a tendency to hit a left-right curvature. So what have we learned? The perfect backswing depends upon your ball flight and how you present the golf club to the ball at impact. Before we reach impact is way less important. All that matters is impact and ball flight. So if you're a player that slices the golf ball, we can work towards a takeaway that's more to the inside, with the golf club pointed more downward, with the face more closed. And if you're a player who struggles with hooking the golf ball, then we can work to a takeaway which is more outside and away from the body, with a club face pointed more to the right, so the toe of the club more straight up. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments, like and subscribe to the channel, and hit the link in the description for my free guide to taking 10 shots off your scores. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Have an incredible day. Happy golfing.